So some people like to climb the social ladder, get a bump up in status. And I guess if we were honest, we'd probably all have to say that we would like to climb the social ladder some, get a little bump up in status. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? Aren't we supposed to finish a little higher than where we started? Right? But who knew that Jesus would be a great source of advice about how to do that? Jesus comes and gives us this hot tip. He says, listen, you've been invited to some big to-do. It could be any setting, really. It might be an office setting or something. He says, don't put yourself forward as if you're really important. Because then if someone more important comes along, you're going to be put down, and that's going to look really bad. So play it humble. And then the important people will call you up, and then you'll look really good. And ain't it true? Right? It's all about status. Sometimes we might imagine having lots of money and some of the things we could do with that money. But it's interesting, it seems like a lot of people who finally do get lots of money, what they do with it is they buy status. I was at a church in Massachusetts for a few years, and right on the 495 high-tech highway, and there was a lot of new money flowing, and you could really see this quite a bit, that people noticed each other's homes and lawns and cars, I visited one person from church once, a lovely young lady. She lived in this house that was just huge and mostly empty. And there was one room that was probably twice the size of what we call our living room in our house, that had a glass panel door, and you could see inside the room. There's nothing in there but a couch. She said, that's where we put the Christmas tree. Oh, wow. So, a month a year, we have a Christmas tree room. How nice. It's all about status. But I get it. It's about validity. We all want to feel like we're important. We have some importance. If one of you were to ask me to do a wedding service, that's validating, right? Now, no offense, but if a Hollywood movie star called me up, if Gwyneth Paltrow says, would you do a wedding service? Then I'm important, right? Come to think of it, I don't know if she has my number. These days, though, the image of a wedding banquet might not even be the best image to use, because you can do all of this on the internet and through social media, in the comfort of your own home. Once I tried setting up a Facebook page, and I realized after very little time that I couldn't keep up with it. But I keep getting notices from Facebook that say, David, by the way, I'm on a first-name basis with Facebook. David, you haven't posted anything in a long time. And I'm like, what? So? I mean, do I have a contract with you or something? But what Facebook is really trying to tell me is you're missing out. You're losing your chance for some status, your 15 minutes of fame. No one's looking at you. But that's okay, because Jesus says, play it cool, keep it humble, and then the important ones will call you up. Who is Jesus kidding? That never happens. That's not how it works, right? Does Jesus really think status is important at all? Or is Jesus really hoping that we will ask ourselves, why do I think it's so important to be important? Where's that coming from? Maybe before we really want to be in up the head table, before we really want to get near the top, we should know what happens at the top. Because the higher you get, the people above you are not waiting to invite you up higher. They're worried about who's going to replace them. And the people beneath are not holding you up. They're waiting for their chance to get your place. Maybe instead of trying to connect with people that can do something for us, maybe we'd be better off trying to connect with people that we can do something for. I gotta say, the people I've met of a lowly status have always been the most interesting. And they always have something to teach me. Don't neglect to show hospitality to strangers, because by doing that, many have entertained angels unaware. It's easy to say, someone is worse off than me. I hear that a lot. I don't think I'm really where I want to be, but I know that there are a lot of people worse off than me. Well, it's true. But the gospel message is to try to relate to those people that we think are worse off. To try to relate to them. Remember those in prison as if you were in prison. As if you were. Go visit a prison and imagine spending some more time there. It's not that hard to get in. You know? Yeah, we're always better off than somebody else. We always are. But then who are we inviting up? To whom do we say, friend, move higher? Jesus didn't come to give anybody status. Jesus came to level the field. And he came with a message that it's time for us as a people, as a species, to move up higher. It's time and past time. It's really easy to look at all the problems in the world and say, God help us. God help us indeed. God has already helped us. God has given us everything we need. We know what to do. When we see the forest burning, people pressing on the border asking for mercy, we know what justice is. We know what equity looks like. We know what to do. It's just time to do it. Thanks be to God. Amen.